Everybody circle up. We're gonna move on to Q&A now. So raise your hands if you have questions, just like school.
Woj lock, I want to see it.
Woj lock.
Do it to Riley. Come here.
So
Hold on.
Woj.
Hold on.
Martin.
Marty, don't be pounded on the mat, buddy. Go here. We're gonna go 50-50.
50-50.
Yeah. So Woj locks, I should switch. Are better from 50-50 because what a Woj lock is, it's just an inside heel hook, but when he turns to heel slip, I can follow it, and I'm pushing this heel to be aligned with my nipple. Okay. So I'm gonna shotgun grip, and as I turn, most people are gonna try to rotate. Do you see how his foot slips higher? So as he rotates through, I let him, and now I hip in, and it shreds his knee. Yeah, it's nasty. It's scary.
So like basically, kind of like an Estima, sort of.
And yes, it's kind of like an Estima, yes.
No, it's just like a reverse Aoki look, kind of.
Can I see
Exactly
Can I
what
see
it
one
is.
more
It's a
time?
reverse Aoki.
Can I see one more time?
Yeah, of course.
At like 110% speed.
Yeah, like really rip it.
Just it really.
Dude, Riley's already inconsistent, guys. Why do we want
Yeah,
him
no.
retired? Oh, good God. Oh, I felt it in my hand.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just like an Aoki, right? We want the heel up, so we're turning the foot.
Yeah.
It's so scary. It's not scary. It's so scary. Ripped the blue belt's knee yesterday. That was scary. He did like 4 rotations, and I hipped in on every one of them.
The sub isn't scary. Not tapping to it is scary.
Thank you, Jeff.
You had the option not to do that, though.
Yeah, he did. Any other questions, guys? Anything.
Got questions about any part of jiu-jitsu?
Joey trains with Dante and Max every single day, and like.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. It's easier.
About training with those dudes?
Yeah, what's it like training at Adonis?
Oh man, it's sweet because it's like you have a group of like 6 to 8 guys who are just all driving for the exact same thing. So there's nobody like in the competition room or on the competition team that's like straying from the goal that's being a distraction. Everybody is fully focused on jiu-jitsu and becoming the best. So it's what you're thinking about when you're in the room. It's what you're thinking about when you're lifting weights. It's what you're thinking about when you're eating with them. It's everything. Everything is focused on just purely doing jiu-jitsu and being good at jiu-jitsu. So it means it's awesome, you know.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
You know how we tell you guys to show up and come to class and stuff?
Yeah, be consistent, guys. I mean, that's the number one thing. Show up to every session you can.
I have a question. What's the biggest difference that you notice jumping from like juvenile to adult competition? Like you're young, so
Strength.
Strength.
100% strength. Like you go from rolling with other 16, 17-year-old kids who are good in their own right. I mean, Cole Abate, Achilles Roche, all these dudes were in my division, and now they're like winning brown and black belt major titles. But they still weren't fully sauced out or on sauce or got man muscle like when you jump in an adult division. So, I mean, yeah, they were 10 times better than some of the blue belts I was rolling against, but they also couldn't grab my lapel and just pull me in as a child and hold me there, you know. That was probably the biggest difference with strength. Technique-wise, juvenile divisions are 10 times ahead of what your adult purple belt division is going to be for the most part. Obviously, the top 10, top 5 guys are studs, but juvenile, like when you're at Worlds, every juvenile there could
Shark
win.
Tank.
Yeah, it's a Shark Tank. There's no easy matches.
Thank
Any other questions, guys?
What was because we have a lot of young people that are getting ready to start doing some of the IBJJF stuff that are juvenile level. What's it like? What's it like competing in the bigger shows? You know what I mean? You know, it's definitely compared to like a local and stuff like that.
It's a shell shock. I walked into Nogi Worlds, and a lot of the times, juveniles are on the same day as black belts.
Sure.
So everybody's there. It's not an empty stand like a regular adult division would be. It's packed, and Jacob Couch might be warming up on the mat, same mat you're at. So there's 50 people watching you, and it's stressful, and everybody's good, and you might pull a kid who doesn't even speak English. So they're already getting mystery advantages, and you just gotta you gotta learn to solidify points is really the main thing. Is like, don't let IBJJF judges take the match away from you. Solidify points. Make it to where it's, oh, I got that takedown. It was not questionable. His butt was on the floor for 10 seconds, not 3. His butt was on the floor for 10 seconds. That's a takedown. The guard pass was solidified for 20 seconds. Like, you got to make it to where they can't take it away from you. Otherwise, you're gonna get screwed a lot of times. And just don't look at the stands because they're scary. They're scary. Don't like warm up, look back, and be like, oh my god. Don't focus on who's there because there's gonna be 30, 40 black belt world champions in the bullpen with you. I mean, I was in the bullpen next to Victor Hugo, who I watched literally my whole juvenile career. So it's like, it was nuts, So just don't get shell shocked. Which, trust me, it's easier said than done.
What do you like? Getting prepped for stuff like that at that age, like what were some of the things that worked really well and some of the things that didn't work well? What helped? What hurt? Getting ready for stuff like that.
Beating up hobbyists with random moves that I seen on like Eddie Bravo instructionals definitely didn't help. That did not help me one bit.
Looks really cool though.
Looked amazing, felt amazing to hit, didn't pan out in any of the matches I tried it in. Just sticking to stuff that is like proven to work.
Right.
That helped probably the most. Jumping into X guard, won a lot of matches with it.
Right.
Points, subs, everything. Close guard always works. I think juvenile's a 5-minute match, I believe. You can stall 4.5 of that out and sweep somebody and absolutely win. Trying to submit people. That's how I lost my Worlds semifinal in 2022. I was up, was it 4-0, 6-0, 6-2, something? A very massive points lead. I took the kid down twice. I think I passed his guard. And we got back to seated guard, and there was like 30 seconds left, and I was like, I'm going to footlock him. When I fell back, he rolled. It ended up in a really weird angle. They called a knee bar. I got DQ'd. Got third, walked away pretty sad because it was like, had I just gamed the rules and looked like I was loose passing for 30, 40 seconds, it would have.
Yeah, so you got to play the game.
You have to play the game.
Even at juvenile.
Read the rule book. Literally, if you're a juvenile, read the rule book.
Or an adult, or like literally.
If you're an adult, especially, read the rule book. Highlight shit. Look at it. Listen to your coaches. Have them read the rule book. Like Max Hansen, Henrique, Hands 2024. It's recent, so it's on the mind, but he didn't let Carlos get a grip. Or he let Carlos think he had a grip, and they'd pull back. It's a negative. 4 negatives will lose you a match. I mean, he was 1 negative away from getting DQ'd the whole match.
3 lost in the match.
Yeah, 3 lost him the match. Yeah. I mean, he was 1 away from getting DQ'd 30 seconds in the match purely because Max read the rule book, and we gamed that.
We asked him, that's literally what he said. I was like, what did you think when he gave the 3rd penalty? He said, oh, you just lost. Like, you lost the match.
Yeah, it's very hard to come back from a 2-point lead in IBJJF. Like, local tournaments, they'll give points quick. IBJJF, you got to solidify it. It's probably one of the hardest rule sets to score in outside of, like, ADCC, where it's, like, a really weird score, and it's, like, a page rule book, and there's nothing specified ever.
Max is a finisher, too, and for him to be in that mindset of, like, the 2 points is going to win you the match shows the difference.
Yeah. 2 points will win you a match, whether it's a sweep, whether it's negatives, whether it's a takedown. 2 advantages will win you a match. Don't think, like, oh, I'm only up by advantages. Like, no, you're only up by advantages. Like, it will win you the match.
Happens all the time.
So let's say you're out from Worlds, okay?
Yeah.
What does that week look like? What is your process? What are you doing?
Diet's on lock. There's no cheat meals. There's no extra teaspoon of soy sauce being cooked with the ground beef. Like, calories are locked. Everything's good. I try to be on weight 3-4 days out and just maintain. We stop hard rolling probably 2 days out. Nobody's really banging. It's a lot of drilling. It's a lot of solidifying what you're going to do. Because you can go in and you can drill X guard for 6 weeks, but if you drill Hindulatines for that week because you're just trying to coast, what's fresh on your mind? What you just drilled that week, not what you drilled 6 weeks before. So you're looking at, what is my map? What does my map to victory look like? Am I wrestling up? Am I using X guard? You're drilling that, and overall you're like focused. You're locked in. Like, no distractions. You're at every session. You're at every lifting session. Everything is dialed in. Otherwise, you're not focused. If you're not focused, you're gonna lose.
Do you find the discipline level? I mean, so you're at adult purple belt right now, and just came out of. I'm assuming you got your purple belt. How long have you had it now?
2 years.
2 years. So you got it like right around
So,
18.
I
roughly,
placed
right?
at Worlds. It's actually a really funny story. Do I have permission to tell the story? I placed at Worlds. My brother missed his weight at Worlds, but we knew he was gonna get his brown belt. So it's like my dad already had the belts. It was planned. He was gonna get his brown. I was gonna get my purple. Well, I had to podium to get my purple. He just got his brown. We're not gonna talk about that. So he was at Dave Camarillo's gym in Bakersfield. And he was like, okay, we're going to go to morning class before you guys fly out. That way you can train. And Dad shows up in his gi, his black belt, and tells Dave, I'm going to promote my students today at your gym. I don't care what you think. So Dave's like, okay. So we invade this guy's morning class with probably 15, 20 people in it. Dad gives me my purple belt, gives Corey his brown belt, and that's how I got my purple belt. And then we had to redo the ceremony at the gym because Mom was mad that it didn't happen at our gym.
Dojo style belt ceremony, sick.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
What level of discipline are you finding the average to be? Like coming out of juvenile into adult, like what's that like in terms of how disciplined you need to be to even hang with people?
I mean, if you're a juvenile athlete, most of the time you're pretty disciplined. Like, you can look at most kid athletes, especially if they're doing major tournaments, you can be like, yeah, like, you can tell what kid's going to be in it and what kid's not. But if you're like the average kid, pick up a weight routine, please. You know, unless you're like Cole Bate and you're beating Gio Martinez at 16 years old. Like, you're going to need strength. Really look at the rule book, see what's legal, and understand what's legal. Because if you're jumping into, like, say, a regional expert division and you've never played with heel hooks before, that's just not smart. Like, you could end up getting hurt. And understanding, hey, I'm a child, or I'm 18, 19 years old, I'm not going to let my foot break at an IBJJF Open for no money and a $5 medal. Like, understanding the risk reward with everything is just, it's important, and it's going to take the discipline to the next level.
What about like discipline, you know, just among your peers at purple belt adult, like, you know, the average person you see, I mean, how often are they training? Like, how disciplined do you need to even be like, all right, I have a shot at Worlds. Like, what are you doing on the daily? Like, how often are you training? How often you know, are you paying attention to your diet? Are you lifting? Are you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd say 2 to 3 times a day you'd be training. And I mean, that doesn't have to look like hard rolling every day. It could be, okay, I'm drilling for an hour, or I'm rolling for 20 minutes, or I'm picking up a round here. But 2 to 3 times training. You need to be studying outside the gym. Studying is huge. Okay, guys, studying is huge. Okay, like, if you're not paying attention to jiu-jitsu and you're not watching jiu-jitsu, how are you going to know what is current and what works? And that doesn't mean, like, go back and watch ADCC 2003, because guess what Salo and Marcelo and all these guys did still works. Okay, study, understand it. Diet is, nobody's eating gas station taquitos and winning pans. Okay,
That's his favorite, by the
all
way.
right.
I called myself out.
That's his favorite.
Made eye contact.
I ate a gas station taquito 2 days before pans and probably got the biggest ass chewing from Max I've ever got. Because what are you feeding your body? Are you feeding it bullshit, or are you gonna feed it whole foods that are gonna, like? And that doesn't mean, oh, I need to weigh my food. I do. But it's also a personal choice. Like, you go and be like, okay, I'm gonna eat steak and potatoes today. You know, that's ultimately gonna fill your body better than a pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream that probably has 500 more calories and a whole lot more sugar, and you're gonna feel like shit, and you're gonna be bloated. Like, diet needs to be on lock. You do need to lift weights. Okay, this isn't the 1990s anymore. Elio Gracie's not selling a DVD saying if you're small, you're going to beat everybody. You need to lift weights. Okay, you need to have some form of functional strength. Whether that looks like you're benching 225 or you're doing kettlebells. Like, developing strength is a necessity to jiu-jitsu. And drilling, whether that be situational rounds, whether that be playing, like, constraint sled games, whether that be going in and looking at a technique and repping it, it needs to happen. Nobody's going in and being an open mat warrior and winning world titles. That's just, it's not going to happen. At white, blue, purple, brown, black, masters 1 through fucking 10. It's just not gonna happen. If you're just rolling hard all day, it's how you get injured, you get fatigued, and you suck.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, see the results of like, oh, I want to be on that podium, but they don't really think about what that means. Of like, yeah, like you're not going out. I mean, you're not going out on weekends.
No, you're
We're
not.
not partying.
No.
You're not. That side of discipline matters too.
Joe,
So,
do you have
I just
a
wanted you to hit
girlfriend?
on that as a young.
No,
as a young
Serious question. The
competitor,
reason I
that's
ask you is
important.
because listen to this. Do you have a girlfriend, and tell them why you don't?
Have I won a world title at black belt yet? No, I don't need a girlfriend. That's a distraction.
Right.
It's gonna ultimately take away from what I want, because then I'm gonna have to take time out of the gym. I have to take time away from studying to go be with her. That can happen later in life. Black belt world title doesn't happen. Doesn't fall from a fucking tree. You gotta work for it.
You were at Pans. Do you think there is a more disciplined athlete at the entire tournament than Max? Like you see the
Probably not, dude. I see him day in, day out. I mean, at the house, he's talking about jiu-jitsu.
I was gonna say,
We have mats in the living room at the house because why? He'll grab me and be like, hey, I want to look at this. And he'll look at it. We'll break it down. And that could be a session for the day. You know, there's been plenty of times we come in, we look at something, we break it down. It's like, all right, cool, let's go. You know.
We traveled with them and did all that and stayed with them at Pans and stuff.
Yeah, nobody's more disciplined than Max, bro. That dude's nuts. Like, yeah, no.
Who else has questions? You guys got anything about anything, any aspect?
I think the only question
Now,
is
one of you have a question about jiu-jitsu?
Holy shit, all you guys are world champions. None of you guys have an area of your game you haven't figured out.
classic response to no question.
Get some rounds in.
Yeah, we can get some rounds in, sure. Let's do it.
Thank you, Joey.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you guys. Thank you.